Howdy folks, and welcome back to Red Dead Redemption 2. And today, we're mostly going to be collecting debts on behalf of Herr Strauss, the gang's loan shark, although this is going to introduce us to several other activities along the way.
Herr Morgan! Herr Morgan!
Mr. Strauss?
You busy, my friend?
Why?
I'll cut you in.
Loaning? Already?
You know how it is. People is happy to borrow off someone like me, but more enthusiastic paying back to someone like you.
Of course. Who are they?
Let me see. Chick Matthews works at Guthrie Farm. He's a hand, I believe. Mr. Roble, the small holder at Painted Sky, runs the operations there, badly. Miss Lily Millet is a ranch maid up at Emerald Ranch.
And here was me believing Dutch's bluster about us helping folk.
It's legal work, Mr. Morgan. Debtors belong in prison. We are doing them a favor.
Aye. I'll make sure they see it in them terms.
Yeah, I doubt they're going to see it that way, but hey, you never know. Along the way to collect one of these debts, I just completed the Sharpshooter 1 challenge. There are a huge number of different challenges available in the game, all related to specific activities. There are horsemanship challenges, bandit challenges, gambling challenges, treasure hunting challenges, survival challenges, and of course sharpshooter challenges. The first of the sharpshooter challenges isn't particularly difficult, just shoot down any 3 birds at any time as long as they're in the air. The varmint rifle is the best weapon for that, by the way. And you're not just doing these challenges for the hell of it, although you might be, but you do actually gain things for completing them. Every time you complete a challenge, the trapper has new reinforced equipment waiting for you. Gun belts, holsters, offhand holsters, bandoliers, all of which increase the ammunition capacity for the various different weapons that you carry, as well as reduce the amount of maintenance that they require. So it's worth doing these challenges. Unlike that one, some of them are, as the name would imply, actually quite challenging and require a bit of planning. But more about challenges later. For now, we're on the trail of our first debtor. Know his name, don't actually know what he looks like. Maybe somebody around here knows who he is.
You Chick Matthews?
Oh, no, not me, sir. That's the greenhorn over there. Oh, and there he goes.
So long, long shark.
Damn it! Hey! Get back here! You owe us money!
Son of a bitch. Alright.
Come on, girl.
Well, I never really expected this to be easy.
There, girl.
We got ourselves a chase scene.
Yeah.
Now, I can't recover any money from him if he's dead, so that kind of rules out shooting him. There are a number of different ways you can actually do this. When you're pursuing somebody on horseback, if you ride up alongside them, it will give you the option of jumping from your horse to theirs and knocking them out of the saddle. So that's one option. Another option, of course, is to use... How can I put this? I have been informed that I'm in possession of an item which consists of a length of rope with a loop tied around the end. It turns out that when I was watching adverts for the Milky Bar Kid back in the 70s on my black and white television, I learned to pronounce the name of this article of equipment somewhat differently.
The more you owe!
And the last time I referred to this article of equipment and mispronounced it incorrectly, cowboys all over the world choked on their beans in outrage.
Oh, no, you don't.
I am, of course, referring to the lasso, not the lasso,
Sound the loud.
because there's only one O in it, Jingles. Right, got you son of a bitch. Now, pay up.
A bad day for you, mister.
Look, I got the money, but it's hidden. Untie me and I'll tell you where it is.
You're no place to bargain, boy.
Just untie me, I'll tell you. Okay. There's a map. It's in my pocket.
A map? Why can't none of you fools just pay?
Alright, let's get this map.
Goddamn treasure hunt? You're lucky I ain't taking your teeth as well.
Come on, this ain't right.
So, this is another activity, which is also linked to a set of challenges. It's the treasure hunting
Aren't you gonna
challenge.
untie me?
No, I'm not going to untie you. Shut up. So, this is Chick's treasure map.
You got the map. Do the decent thing.
It's a hand-drawn map. Because this is 1899. There's no GPS. There's no specific directions. It's just a hand-drawn map. Now, since this is our very first treasure map, the game does give us a little bit of help. But we're not going to get this amount of help with any further treasure maps that we come across. We do at least have the rough location. So this time we do at least have the general area indicated on the map, and we can use the map to find the specific location. As for this arsehole, he made me chase him, so I'm just going to leave him there.
You take care now.
I have to admit, the first time I played through this game, I didn't just leave him there. I picked him up and I dropped him on the train tracks. Well, he shouldn't have made me chase him. Well, we're in the general area where Chick stashed his loot. I think I probably need to consult this map again. There it is. Let's see. Okay, so looks like he picked the biggest tree around and he stashed it in a hole in the trunk of the tree. Okay. Well, that looks like the biggest tree on this hill. Be careful when you're on rough ground like this, by the way, because you're not playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey here. It's relatively easy to lose your footing. And there's a hole. And there's the loot. Debt collected. Well, that seemed really simple. It was really simple. This is your very first treasure map. The others are nowhere near as simple as this. You may, for example, recover a treasure map from somebody or something, and it will simply be a picture of an unusual landscape feature. It's not going to tell you where this landscape feature is. It's not even going to tell you which state or county this landscape feature is. So while you're wandering around the world, keep your head up and your eyes open, because you never know when you might find something interesting. Like this abandoned cabin, for example. There are also a number of abandoned cabins scattered around the game world, all of which contain something, if not interesting, then downright strange. See what you think of this place. This is just downright creepy. There's a whole bunch of beds, rotten and covered with mildew, all of these candles. I thought there was some kind of weird ass cult thing going on in here. Yep, creepy music doesn't help. The hell is this? The great love and grace of our Saviour Dave, a voyager of time and galaxies, we cast off our corporeal shells. Yeah, it looks like some kind of weird-ass, freaky, apocalyptic suicide cult lived here, and they've all killed themselves so they could be with their saviour. You never really find out what it is that's happened in this place, but it's just one of the mysteries, of which there are many scattered around the world in these isolated and abandoned creepy-ass old cabins. Anyway, creepy though that is, these debts ain't going to collect themselves. There's another one who owes us some money, over here in Emerald Ranch.
Miss Millet, the ranch maid. You know where I can find her?
She's with Cooper over by the store.
Well, it would help if I knew where the store was. Oh wait, no, I've been here before. The store's over this end of the ranch, although it never seems to be open, which is kind of, weird. But whatever, I'm not here for shopping. I'm here to collect money.
Why's it always gotta be such a goddamn performance with you? Now, I told you I'd get you the money next week, and I'll get it.
If you didn't make it this week, who's to say you'll make it next?
Don't you...
Lily, where's our money?
What?
That loan you took. It's payday.
I'm sorry. I don't have it right now.
Well then, I guess we got a big problem, don't we?
Cooper, give him what you've got.
I ain't giving him nothing except a lessening.
Damn manners! Bitch!
Oh, it's like this, is it? Damn it, I've lost my hat again. I have to admit, I'm not the world's greatest expert at hand-to-hand fighting in this game, but just about the only two things I have mastered are the ability to punch and the ability to block. And that will get you by. Right, cough up.
All right. He has all my money. I gave it all to him.
No, you didn't.
Take everything that you found on him and let's be done with this. Please.
Right, so you owe the money and he has to pay for it. Yeah? Yeah, that seems about right. Unfortunately, this is about to present us with another problem.
Hey, you know what I do to thieves? Law hear about this.
Ah, shit.
I didn't steal that. It's a debt. Oh, damn it.
Well, technically it wasn't theft. Well, alright, it was. He didn't owe us anything. But whatever, the debt's collected. Unfortunately, now I have to deal with a witness to the robbery. And I really don't have the time or the patience to explain to the law that it was a debt collection, not a robbery. So we're going to have to deal with a witness. Now, there are a number of ways that we can do this. We can just let him run off, but, well, then we're going to be wanted for robbery. We can shoot him, but there are a lot of people around. And then we'd have to deal with multiple witnesses to a murder, which doesn't really make things better. If we catch him, we can threaten him to keep his mouth shut. Sometimes just drawing a weapon and pointing it at somebody will be enough to convince them of the errors of their ways, although you need to be careful if you're doing that, because that may just provoke them into drawing their own weapon, and then suddenly you're in a gunfight and you're wanted for murder. Or, if we catch them, and simple threats aren't enough, we can beat the ever-living tar out of them until they see the error of their ways.
No.
I'm going to at least start with the threat. It's a non-violent option.
You goddamn hearing me?
But if he's still not recanting, I guess a good slap in the chops is what the situation requires. And because we chased him right out onto the plains here, there's nobody else around to witness it, so we're not in trouble with a further witness. Unfortunately, by doing this, I've also lost a little bit of honour, because, well, the guy wasn't really doing anything wrong. I mean, he saw what he thought was a crime being committed, and he just went to report it. He should have kept his mouth shut, and I wouldn't have known he was going to report it, so, you know, his loss. Anyway, it's time we met another member of the gang, Reverend Swanson. Although I have to admit, I don't actually know what it is that Reverend Swanson does for us, other than get high, get drunk, and get into trouble. But, well, Dutch's gang, not mine. Who am I to argue? Along the way, we're going to have a random encounter.
Hey, this way! You gotta help me out here, mister. Can you? Please? I've been on the run for days now. If you could help me with these shackles, I just might have a chance.
Well, somebody's been up to no good.
So how'd you end up like this?
Just shoot the damn chains already, come on!
Alright. I mean, I don't have to.
Just shoot the chains off, please. I'm done for otherwise.
What the hell? Why not? Hold still.
Oh, yes. Yes! Perfect. Thank you. I got no money to give you, but I think I might got something even better. Some of those fellows talked about this old crone up north of Strawberry. Got herself a tidy sum locked away. Maybe just stories, but they were sure excited.
Oh, yeah? Why'd I be interested in that, huh?
I don't know, just a hunch. It's up to you, friend.
We just got ourselves a home robbery tip. Well, we'll just file that one under investigate later. For now, we have to go and find Reverend Swanson. He's been missing for a while. Miss Grimshaw back at the camp is getting a bit concerned, and, well, if you know Reverend Swanson like we know Reverend Swanson, he's almost certainly up to no good, or in trouble, somewhere. Last we heard, somebody had seen him down here at this small railway station on the main line coming out of Valentine. What he's doing here is anybody's guess. Let's find out, shall we?
Swanson, you in here?
Mr. Morgan, I took your advice, sir. I took your advice.
Then your god has finally deserted you. What you talking about?
I took your advice, sir. I have removed myself from Morpheus's embrace. No more shall I sink, sir. I am free. I am free.
You don't seem free, friend. You seem drunk.
Sit down, Reverend. We ain't finished.
You ain't finished. Look at him. He's finished.
None of us forced liquor down his throat. Friend, I just want him to play.
Now, firstly, we ain't friends. Don't make no mistake on that subject. Now, secondly, he can't hardly see, let alone reason. Now, reasoning ain't never been one of my strong points neither, but seeing I do just fine. You want to step outside or deal with business here?
I just want him to finish the game.
Why can't we all just get along? These are good men, Arthur. They're children of God. They're children of God.
How's about you playing his place, huh? That seems fair?
Fair?
Sure. You want a game?
Well, I'm as bad at poker as I am at everything else, but we'll give it a
Sure.
go.
I'll play a few hands.
Well, sit yourself down then.
It probably won't come as a great surprise to you to learn that there are also gambling challenges in Red Dead Redemption
I'm
2.
Luther. This is Marvin.
In fact, just about every activity in the game has some sort of challenge
Fortunate for you both for
associated with
being
it.
gentlemen about this.
Same goes for you.
Okay, let's have a look.
So, how you two know each other anyway?
Queen of
Don't
Spades,
seem
Ten
like
of
the
Clubs.
likeliest of friends.
That's a fairly
Don't
decent
mind
starting
me
point.
saying.
We go a long way back.
And now you're his chaperone?
I guess it's something like that. Can we play?
Let's see what comes out on the flop.
He can't be no real clergyman. He committed
Pair
about
of queens.
5 cardinal
Okay, that's
sins
pretty
just
good.
in that chair you're sitting in.
I think he used to be. He's drifted a little in recent years. Life is a challenge to all of us.
I'm going to check for now. I want to see what they do.
Can you imagine him at the pulpit? If he could stand up.
On the fourth day, he turned water into whiskey, and I don't remember much after that.
Okay, they're both checking. But there's an ace down there.
Check for me.
So somebody could have a pair of
He's a
aces,
decent
and they're just
fella
waiting
going
for somebody
through a
else to
bad
raise
time.
and put their own money in so that they can call
Disrespect
it.
him again, and you'll find yourself in a bad time too.
All right, all right. Just trying to have a little fun
Alright,
here.
now we're talking. Two
It is a
pairs.
game after all,
Queens and
mister.
tens, that's a good hand. And they've done nothing but check so far. So it's time to start upping the ante. Let's raise. It's not high stakes poker. So far the pot's only
There
12
we go.
cents. It's up to
Look
38
at his
cents.
face, he's bluffing.
They're all calling. Pot's now up to 90 cents.
Hardly a
Two
big
pairs, queens and
finale for
tens.
me.
He had a pair of eights.
Don't laugh.
And he had a pair of queens. Gotcha.
Hellfire.
Right, if we're staying in, I think it's my deal.
Okay.
The poker in this game is actually pretty good. Your various different opponents, if you stay at the table long enough, I so far haven't been able to determine any tells. For the non-gamblers out there, a tell is something that somebody will do to give away what hand they have. If you pay close attention, you might notice that, for example, when somebody has a good hand, they always scratch their ear. It's a nervous tick that gives away what their hand is. I haven't noticed any of that, although I have noticed that certain players will gamble in a certain way.
Okay, then.
You'll soon notice that somebody, for example, will always check when they've got nothing, and will only ever bet, call, or raise when they've actually got something worth playing with. That lets you know when you need to fold, or when you can afford to raise. Things like that are present in the game. Now, at the moment, I have nothing. A 9 and a 4. Pretty bad. Although now, I've got a pair of 4s, but it's still not that great. There's a jack down there in the flop. Somebody could have a pair of jacks, although they are both still checking.
I don't think.
I'm going to stay in, even though I only have a pair of 4s. It's still a pair. And now there's an ace. So somebody could have a pair of jacks, somebody could have a pair of aces. But as long as everybody's still checking, and I don't have to put any of my own money in, I may as well let it ride and see what happens. Because I could still win with a pair of 4s. Somebody might not have any pairs at all.
I check.
It's still not looking good. The odds are against me. But again, nobody's raising. So I may as well stay in and just see what happens.
How do you like this?
Ace high, 2 pairs, 5s and 4s.
It's pretty pathetic.
If I was Luther over there with a hat and the red shirts, with 2 pairs, I would have raised. I mean, since everybody had been checking up until that point, you could be reasonably sure that nobody had a particularly good hand. But if I'm sitting there with 2 pairs, and I raise, anybody who has something worth playing for would have had to called and matched my bet in order to stay in and see my hand. Marvin over there on the opposite side of the table with just an ace high, he would almost certainly have folded, and I would have probably folded as well since I only had a pair of 4s, but Luther wouldn't have lost anything by raising. He could only win more.
Let's start this low for now.
Huh.
Again, I don't have a lot here. But we'll see what happens. Let's see what comes out in the flop. King, Queen and an 8. I've got nothing. Nobody's raising, so I'll just check. See what comes out in the next card. Pair of kings. With a queen kicker. And they're all still checking.
Check.
Okay, I'll stay in. Again, as long as nobody's raising, it's not costing me anything to stay in. And again, I've got nothing, just the pair of kings that are down there in the river. So it all is going to come down to who's got the highest kicker.
I'll check.
I'm certainly not putting any of my own money in. On a pair of kings with a 9 kicker. Luther's got a pair of kings. Everybody just had the pair of kings, but Marvin wins because he had a jack. He hasn't won much. There was only 24 cents on the table, but yeah, a win's a win. Still, I didn't lose anything other than my initial bet. It was worth staying in. Alright, it's Luther's deal. I think this might be my last hand. Let's try and win another one.
I must say, you have a lot less stories than your friend did.
Now we got a game going.
So what do we got? Oh, this is looking promising. King of spades, 7 of hearts.
Fold.
Luther's out. He's got nothing.
Check.
Alright, Marvin's not feeling very confident. He's just checking. Well, I've still got nothing other than the king high. I'll check.
I check.
Marvin's also checking, so I don't think he's got much either. Okay, now I've got something. Pair of 7s with a king kicker. I think now is the time to start throwing out a line and seeing how hard Marvin's going to bite.
Just a
Let's raise it.
Oh, come on. This ain't kid poker.
I don't want to raise it too much because Marvin is likely to get scared off, and now I've got 2 pairs, jacks and 7s. So let's raise it even higher and see how confident Marvin's feeling.
That's what I got.
Somebody put on his big boy pants this morning,
Have a look at these.
2 pairs,
Pilot.
jacks and 7s.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Ah, well.
Well, that was fun. And poker's not the only gambling you can do. There's also
Yes.
dominoes, blackjack, 5-finger fillet. Although if you want to find a blackjack table, you usually have to find a saloon or a hotel. But I think I'm done for the day.
Gentlemen, this is getting too rich for me.
Sit down.
Oh, I'm done, friend. It's been a real education. Come on, Rip. Where is he? Where'd he go?
Who?
The Reverend. Where it? Excuse me, gentlemen.
Ah, damn it, Swanson. Can't leave him alone for a minute.
Reverend Swanson! Where'd you go?
See if these fellas have seen him.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. You see a drunken idiot, a priest, wandering about?
Sure, we saw him, smelt him, and avoided him. He went that way, I think.
Thanks.
Guy looked kind of crazy, mister.
Well, you have no idea.
Swanson's an opium addict, by the way, amongst his other sins.
You crazy?
Where the hell did he go? I did actually catch him crawling out of the door when I sat down at the poker table, but I didn't think anything of it. Oh, what's he got up to now?
Hands off him.
You'll keep. You stay out of it.
Get your hands off him now, you son of a bitch.
What the hell is your problem?
He's with me.
God damn it, Swanson, you've cost me my hat again. Also, he got up very fast.
You bastard!
Who's talking now? Huh?
Oh my God, killed him. I'm gonna get the law on you.
Oh, shit. I didn't kill him. Anyway, he started it. I'll deal with another witness. See the trouble you're causing me, Swanson? I really don't want to have the law after me over this. Need to catch this guy and shut him the hell up. And you don't have a huge amount of time in which to do it either.
I said stop, damn it.
Okay. Please, don't hurt me.
You tell anyone what you saw back there? You're a dead man. You understand me?
Yep. I won't tell a soul. I promise.
Good. Get the hell out of here.
Okay, didn't have to beat him or kill him.
It's the last thing I needed.
Right, Swanson.
Reverend! Get off the damn
Oh my
tracks!
god, what is he doing up there? I swear this idiot junkie
A friend!
will be the death
Just
of me.
a simple mistake. You can still be saved.
Why do we even keep him around? That's what I want to know. Oh great, he's stuck.
What have you done with your foot?
It appears to like this place and wants to stay.
Stuck on the rail track, and of course the train's coming.
Get your foot out of here! Twist your leg, you drunken bastard! Help!
Oh, this is going to be close. Yeah, that was really close. Oh, Reverend Swanson, you and I are going to have a little chat.
Thank you, sir.
Oh no, you don't! What the hell is wrong with you?
What the hell is wrong with you? Throwing me off a bridge like
There
that?
was a goddamn train, you crazy bastard!
Have I been bad again, Mr. Morgan? I'm sorry. I wish I was different.
Let's get you home.
Home? Yeah, that's a wonderful idea. I could have tea with Margaret.
Margaret? Who's Margaret? What?
Oh, shit. Well, looks like we're doing this the hard way. Although with Reverend Swanson, there's no such thing as the easy way.
I told him.
And who the hell's Margaret? I guess he's just off his face on opium and whiskey. Alright, let's get him back to the camp.
So sleepy.
Yeah, you sleep it off, sunshine. Can't cause any trouble while you're asleep. Although if there was a way to cause trouble while you were asleep, I'm sure Reverend Swanson would find it. Right, let's get this junkie bum dumped off back in his tent where he can't cause any more trouble.
I was wondering when he'd show up.
Yeah, Molly, he's like a bad penny. You can't get rid of him. And there's his tent. It's pretty shit. What else would you expect from this guy?
You better sleep your way to salvation, my friend.
Oh, what happened?
Just the usual.
Poor bastard.
Exactly.
Well, thank you, Mr. Morgan. I'll keep an eye on him.
He was lucky this time. Real lucky.
Yeah, and he's your problem now, Miss Grimshaw. We're still not quite done with a little debt collecting side venture, however.
Alright.
There's one more debt that needs to be called in. But unlike most of the scumbags that Strauss lends money to, Thomas Downs here is an honest man. He's just not very lucky.
Mr. Thomas Downs?
Yep, that's me.
You owe me money.
Oh, no, I'm...
We ain't a charity, Mr. Downs.
Strauss doesn't care about any of that, of course. He picks his victims very carefully. Of course, that's not much consolation to me, because I'm the one that has to collect.
It's going to be paid.
Whether you deserve a beating or not.
Oh, come here, you maggot.
Please, sir. I'll...
Really? Threaten me, would you?
Please. I have a family, sir. Please.
I don't care about your family. Why'd it have to come to this, huh?
Believe me, sir. I didn't want this either.
You ain't such a do-gooder, are you? If you're running out on debts...
I'm not running anywhere.
I'm trying to just threaten him. I don't really want to hit this guy.
But I got you now.
Please.
But threatening isn't getting the results.
Strauss told me you needed a beating. You saying he was right?
What will that solve? Be reasonable.
You borrowed money from my business partner, Herr Strauss. You owe him. You took the money. He wants it back. What's not to understand? Where's our money?
I don't have it.
Sell your place.
We already owe more than it's worth.
Then sell your wife, or your family, or something. We ain't your idea of charity. Is that clear?
Thomas!
What are you looking at?
Thomas!
I said, what you looking at, woman?
My husband isn't well. If we could just have more...
Like I said, we ain't nobody's idea of charity. Get us the money.
Arthur Morgan has never been really happy with the whole loan sharking and debt collection business that the gang has going on, but Dutch approves of it, he's the boss. And Arthur's gone along with it, because it does bring the money in, and up until now the kind of people that Strauss has been preying on have pretty much deserved it. Arthur Downs, however, marks a very significant turning point for Arthur, in more ways than one. And it's not just because Arthur feels that the loan sharking side of the business isn't really honest crime, it's distasteful. And it's not just because Arthur feels bad about beating an honest, hard-working man for money that he clearly doesn't have, and doing it in front of his wife and son. It is both of those things, but it's also because Thomas Downs was a sick man, and he just coughed blood all over Arthur's face.
Ah, how did you get on?
Not so good. He's almost dead. And they seem more or less destitute. You were a fool for lending them the money.
Well, people who aren't desperate don't seem so interested in my propositions.
Of course.
And all three of those factors are going to have serious consequences for the gang in general, and Arthur Morgan in particular, in the weeks and months to come. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.